Hi, I'm Sarah from SidetrackSarah.com, and today we're going to learn all about how to cook frozen meat in the Instant Pot. If you haven't heard of me before, I have a website for busy families where I show lots and lots of food, mostly slow cooker and Instant Pot for anybody on the go all the time or just busy. I'm a stay-at-home, work from home, homeschooling mom of 7 kids. Actually, 2 of my kids are now in college, but all the rest are from ages 5 up to 17, and we're homeschooling them. And then I have a 20-year-old and a 22-year-old in college. They come and go. One is living away from here, but anyway, I just thought I'd get started with the different kinds of meat. And I know one of the big questions with the Instant Pot is if we can cook it from frozen, and that is one of my lifesavers, because a lot of times when I am cooking, I like to make slow cooker meals because I can put it in the morning and get going with the meal, and then by evening time it's ready. I started by creating a freezer to slow cooker meal plan, but then eventually I learned that I kept forgetting to put the food in the slow cooker just because I don't know, I'm not that organized of a person, I should say, on a normal basis. And so whenever I finally decided to try out the Instant Pot a few years ago, it was a lifesaver, because anytime I didn't do the slow cooker meal, I could always cook it in the Instant Pot, and it's easier to cook things from frozen in the Instant Pot as well. So today, the first thing I'm going to show you is a roast, and since it's frozen, I'm going to go ahead and use the trivet. I've got mixed feelings on that because I like it to cook in the juices, but it's more likely to stick since it'll be flat on the bottom. So, well, it won't be flat for a little while because it's got to thaw first. But anyway, I've got this big roast right here, and it's gonna just sit kind of sideways. And then I like to season with a little bit of, this is onion soup mix that we had made, and I think it's 2 packets full, so I am just going to, or I don't think we had made it actually, I said that, but I think that we had somehow just dumped it into a spice container. I'm not sure why, but I'm gonna try to use it up. So I'm gonna season it on one side so that it's got it on the actual meat, and then I'm going to season it on the other side, and then I'm going to put a can of beef consomme in there for my liquid because it's really rich tasting and it really adds some great flavor to it. And so I'm just going to pour that in. Now you could use beef broth or even water if you need to. In fact, I want to do a little more of this. And we're going to close the lid, and then we're gonna set it to sealing. This roast is a 3-pound roast, and so we're going to do it for, since it's frozen, it's gonna go a little longer than normal. Normally I would do a roast for 20 minutes per pound of meat, which would equal 60. This time I'm gonna add a little extra time, and we're gonna go with 70 minutes on that. And then if we were going to do vegetables with it, you would wait and add those at the end. If they were cut up, you could get away with like 5 minutes and then a natural release. But anyway, let's get this going. This is my 8-quart Instant Pot. So I'm doing the pressure cook button. Some of you might have a manual button, and that would be fine to use as well. That's how my 6-quart is. The pressure cook, and then 70 minutes is 1 hour and 10 minutes. And like I said, make sure that valve is closed, and then it'll just come on, and once it builds pressure is when the countdown will start. So now the roast has been cooking for the 70 minutes, and I let it natural release for 15 minutes. And so now I'm going to let out the remaining pressure. All right, here goes. It's almost done, luckily, so it shouldn't take too long. We're just waiting for this pin right here to thaw, and once it does, the Instant Pot will allow me to open the lid, but until that happens, I will not be able to open the lid. Pin finally fell. It took a little longer than I thought it would, and now the roast should be ready. I want to check it. Oh yeah, it feels nice and tender. It looks like it's covered in the onion soup mix, but it should have a nice flavor. And here's the finished product of the cooked roast beef. It's so yummy and moist. We could turn the sauce that's in here into gravy by adding some cornstarch and water, and then you just hit this saute button, then it would thicken it up and you could pour it over there. I don't have enough time for that tonight because I have to pack for vacation, but you get the general idea what this meal tastes like whenever it was done. Here's the finished roast. It's not the prettiest looking thing. It had a lot of fat on it that I had to pick around, but it sure tastes amazing. All right, next I have some pork chops. I had actually made these for a freezer meal, and these are the lime pork chops, and I'll link to that video down in the show notes. I just wanted to show you how you can do these from frozen and how well they turn out. So all I'm gonna do, it does have a little bit of, I think this one actually has lemon juice in it because I ran out of lime juice that it's been marinating in. And just throw in the big chunk of pork chops, and these are all boneless. You don't have to do it that way, but if you don't do it boneless, they'll have to cook longer typically. And typically pork chops don't have to cook as long as most other meats because they're thin. Normally it's like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then a natural release for at least 10 minutes. I think I'm gonna go with 15 minutes and then natural release it since they're frozen. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Make sure your valve is sealing once again. I've lost my trivet for my 6-quart, and it doesn't show me the burn notice as badly as the 8-quart does. But if you have your trivet, you might still consider using it. I get mixed results on it. I kind of like it a little bit crispy on the bottom because it doesn't usually burn it that bad, and my husband prefers his meat more crispy, so I like to do it without the trivet, but if you're worried at all, I would definitely use it. For this one, I'm just using the manual button. I think I just told you 15 minutes, but I think I'm gonna do the 20 minutes and probably release the pressure a little faster. All right, so this is the pork chops, and as you can see, I've been letting it go for about 18 minutes on natural release. I meant to do it for 10, but time got away, so I'm gonna go ahead and quick release the rest of the pressure by moving this to venting. Looks like it's about done anyway, so yep, the pin already fell. And here is the finished product. Okay, now we're gonna move on to chicken. Now, I often use frozen chicken breast because I keep a big bag of it frozen, like a 3 to 5 pound bag in my freezer. So anytime I need a quick meal, I will definitely put my chicken in, and I'll throw in some barbecue sauce or some Italian dressing or different spices. Sometimes I use diced tomatoes and green chilies with taco seasoning, and I'll just pour all that in. But anyway, this time I have a freezer meal that I had prepared, and I will show you the link to that video where I did that. But it's lemon garlic chicken. Doesn't look like I have much liquid in there, so I'm gonna just dump all the frozen chicken in. Oh no, I do have liquid in there. It's a big frozen block right now. Let's see if I can. The only problem is with this one is it's in my smaller pot and it doesn't want to go down, so I might have to run it under some hot water real fast. So I'll put it back in the bag so I don't lose any of the sauce, and I'll run it under hot water. Okay, hopefully I got that apart enough. A lot of that sauce is coming out now and breaking down into smaller pieces. Oh yeah, that should work. Now normally whenever I do this, I'm just using the individually quick frozen chicken, and so it's just easy to grab a few pieces. But since this was already a meal, then it was a little more difficult because it was all stuck together. So I'm going to close that lid, and I'll turn my vent to sealing, and then I'm going to cook it for 20 minutes on high pressure. And I'll be hitting the manual button on this one because it's my 6-quart and I don't have a pressure cooker button on it. It's one of the earlier models. So I'm hitting manual, and it's already on 20 minutes, so I just wait for that to start. And once it does, it'll have to come to pressure, and then the timer will start counting down. So it usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes up to 20, to get all the way up to pressure before the countdown starts. All right, on this chicken, it was a lemon garlic chicken. We're gonna go ahead and it cooked for 20 minutes. Usually that's plenty, and I usually quick release whenever it does that. You can choose to natural release. It won't hurt it at all. Typically when I cook chicken like this, I will shred it or just serve it in chunks. So it's not gonna be like a whole piece of chicken in the same sense like that you would order from a restaurant, but it's still really good. Here goes, it's gonna be loud for a minute. All right, so now we're gonna open this lid. You know, it's not the prettiest looking chicken you've ever seen, but there's usually a little bit of the fat and skin residue that is on there when it's been cooking. Either you can eat it like this, or you can stick it in the broiler to broil it a little bit, to brown it a little bit. My husband gets a little bit weird about eating completely white chicken. He feels like it needs to be browned. So sometimes he'll just stick his in the skillet and brown it up a little more than this. But this, it usually infuses all the flavors that you need. You could shred it depending on the meal. So I'm going to plate it up and show you what it will look like. It actually turned out really good. It just, to me, I'm not ever impressed with the way the chicken looks. I threw on some parsley to make it look a little nicer. And now this meal would qualify for me as a low carb meal. It was one of my low carb recipes, and so I just threw on some broccoli and peppers, and I figured I'd call that a meal. This is what it looked like coming out, and it's fine. It just does, you know, Instant Pot and slow cooker food sometimes just look like a big blob of white mushy meat. It tastes really good. I tasted it and it's got a really great taste, but you might, if you need it to look prettier, or I would definitely throw it in the oven and crisp it up, or in the skillet, or just throw some parsley on like we did over here. I think that makes quite a big difference. It's so nice to be able to just toss frozen chicken in to have a meal like that. All right, that is the end of learning how to do the beef, the pork, and the frozen chicken. I'm also going to link to my video that I did just on cooking your chicken in the Instant Pot, and I'm also going to link to the video that I did on cooking ground beef in your Instant Pot. I didn't show you in that video how you could do it frozen, but it works the same. You just add more time to it, and it ends up cooking like a kind of like a meatloaf that you just break apart. But it's a really nice way not to have to stand over your food while cooking it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you. And if you have any questions about your Instant Pot or your slow cooker, feel free to leave me a comment. And then I'd also love to hear what the last thing you made in your Instant Pot was in the comments down below. And don't forget to like this video if it's helpful, and follow me. And if you want to get notifications, all you have to do is click that bell and it'll give you a notification each time I post a video. And I'm hoping to do a lot in the next month, especially on the Instant Pot. Right now I'm focusing on that. If you'd like to join us in the freezer to slow cooker and Instant Pot meal plan, I will leave a link down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.